my worst enemy. The flesh that's covering me brings me down to my knees.
Welcome to Sermons in the Park, a ministry exploring biblical truth from the Word of God, focusing on the truths that help us in our daily walk with Christ in every aspect of our lives. Now, here is your Reverend, Jamie McCaskill.
Hello, brothers and sisters, and welcome back to an all-new Sermons in the Park. As always, I am your Reverend Jamie McCaskill. I want to thank you for joining me here on another beautiful day here on God's green earth. Now, this is a follow-up to the last episode that I just made, the one on Joseph Smith. If you watched it, you might have heard I promised that I would cover this spiritual being that the Mormons call the angel Moroni. For anyone outside of Mormonism, this might be confusing to you. Why? Because if you've read the Bible, you know that there is no angel Moroni ever mentioned anywhere in the Bible. He's only found in the theology of the LDS Church. And by the LDS Church, I mean Mormonism. You see, according to their teachings, Moroni appeared to Joseph Smith several times, starting back in 1823. He is so ingrained in their teachings that if you were to go to the temple in Salt Lake City, you'll see a giant bronze statue of him on top of the temple. If you buy any of their literature, you'll see his image on it or in it somewhere. So they also tell us his backstory as well. You see, they tell us that Moroni started out as a human being, that he was the son of this so-called prophet of theirs called Mormon, which of course is where the Book of Mormon gets its name from. Now, Mormon was a man, they claim, who wrote the message that was found on those supposed golden plates, and that after he died, his son Moroni picked it up and finished the work, and then he turned around and buried it in what would later become Western New York. Now, it's very important that you understand that according to their own teachings, all of that happened before Europeans even made their way to America. Anyway, after Moroni died, according to them, he became an angel and then later appeared to Joseph Smith. And he supposedly told Joseph Smith where these tablets were, and he even gave him the ability to translate them with these supposed special spectacles or glasses, if you will. And as we know, Joseph Smith then turned around and he published what he claimed to be the translations of these tablets and named it the Book of Mormon. Now, there were others who claimed that they had seen Moroni. They, of course, said this so that they could vouch for Joseph Smith. There were these three men that claimed Moroni came and showed them the plates himself, and supposedly God then spoke to them. This happened in 1829. Their names were Oliver Cowdery, David Whitmer, and of course the ever-popular Martin Harris, Martin Harris. And then you had the woman who she had no ulterior motives at all, right? Her name is Lucy Mack Smith. Smith, the mother of Joseph Smith. She claimed to have seen Moroni, and she also helped him hide the plates that, by the way, she never saw. She told people that she saw the outline of the plates under the cloth. Then you have Hiram Smith, Smith, meaning the brother of Joseph Smith, the one that was killed with him in jail, there were claims that he saw Moroni as well. And then there's Mary Whitmer. Now, back to the story. Originally, the angel Joseph Smith saw was never named. Because you see, it wasn't until much later on that Joseph identified him as Moroni. But like I said in my video on Joseph Smith, we were talking about the initial vision, remember? You can find some contradictions there, but you can also find contradictions here. There are early documents where that angel is not named Moroni, he's named Nephi. Nephi is another character in the Book of Mormon. And to me personally, I think the church's stance on this, their defense for it, is meh. Because their official explanation is that it was an error by the editors, that Moroni is the correct name of the angel. That is their official stance. And remember what I said at the beginning about how you do not read about Moroni anywhere in the Bible? Well, the Mormons claim that he is in the Bible, that he is the angel that we read about in Revelation chapter 14, verse 6. And we're going to read that right here. And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation, and kindred, and tongue, and people. What does that have to do with Moroni? I have no clue. Anyway, and this angel they call Moroni is everywhere. You'll see pictures, like I said earlier, you'll see pictures of him in all their works. You'll see pictures of him on all their buildings. You'll see his statue on top of the temple. Everything. So, now that we're almost done, I'm sure you're going to ask me, Preacher, is Moroni an angel or not? Did he really appear to Joseph Smith? Did Joseph Smith make it all up? Now, I have no answer one way or the other, because I have no doubt that it's possible that Joseph Smith made it all up. It's very possible. In fact, Moroni is the name of the capital of the Comora Islands. Now, these are islands that are just off the coast of Madagascar. In fact, one of those islands is named Comora. And think about it now. What was the name of that hill Joseph Smith said he found the tablets on? That's right, Comora, just spelled differently. And if you remember from my last video on Joseph Smith, do you remember what before his supposed revelation, what was his occupation? He was a treasure hunter. It's entirely possible that Joseph Smith made all of this up using the story of Captain Kidd. Because you see, Captain Kidd was the one who mapped out the Comora Islands. Now, what about on the other side of this? Is it possible that Joseph Smith spoke with an angel that said he was Moroni? Well, let's do like we always should do. Let's go back to the Bible. Because Paul tells us that if an angel or anyone comes to us with a gospel that is different than what we find in the New Testament, look what Paul tells us to do here. Galatians chapter 1, verse 8. Paul says this, "But though we or an angel from heaven," so in we, Paul is including himself there. "But though we or an angel from heaven preach any other gospel unto you than that which we have preached unto you, let him be accursed." You see, Paul is including himself in that. He's saying we. If we or anyone, an angel, even an angel from heaven, they should be accursed. And then The supposed gospel of Mormonism, yes, it's a different gospel, which is honestly not a gospel at all. Evidently, someone somewhere was trying to pervert the gospel of Christ. And look what we read in Galatians chapter 1, just before what we just read. We're going to actually go back. We're going to look at verses 6 and 7. I marvel that ye are so soon removed from him that called you into the grace of Christ unto another gospel, which is not another, but there be some that trouble you and would pervert the gospel of Christ. That is what you see when you look at Mormonism, or LDS doctrine, if you will. Now, as far as this spiritual being that said he was an angel, remember this. I talked about this at length a long time ago when I talked about these supposed angel boards. What does the Bible remind us constantly? That the devil masquerades as an angel of the light. As I said back then, do you honestly think the devil has forgotten how to do that? He was an angel of the light before. It wouldn't be that hard for him to fool you now. Look with me at 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 14. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. So, yes, it's very possible Joseph Smith made all that up. He could have wrote a story and people just bought into it. But it's also very possible that some evil spirit came to Joseph Smith, because Joseph Smith, if you read his own works, he was very weak spiritually at that time. So this demon or whatever appeared in front of him, claimed that he was an angel, said his name was Moroni or Nephi or whatever, but that was not, Mormon friends, listen to me, that was not an angel of God. If it was, you wouldn't see his pictures and his statues all over the place, because it's drawing worship away from God. And what do we see in Revelation when John falls before the angel? He tells him, no, get up. Don't worship me. So thank you all for joining me here. I pray the Lord continues to bless and keep you. I hope this has enlightened you in some way, that it's helped you out, maybe helps you understand something. So thank you. I love you. God bless you, and I'll see you all soon.
You have been listening to Sermons in the Park with Reverend Jamie McCaskill. Be sure to follow us on YouTube, BitChute, and Rumble. And as always, thank you for listening.
There's joy for the morning, sinner be still. Earth has no sorrow, heaven can't heal. Earth has no sorrow, heaven can't heal. So